or stud high-low where you can potentially have a good hand with only 3 cards. You know, you're rolled up with aces, you got ace deuce 3 and the high-low. There's lots of ways that you could have an awesome hand in stud or stud high-low with only 3 cards. You can have a potentially very strong hand in Razz with only 3 cards, but you cannot have a hand. So it's very important. So it's very important to remember that and not to go too crazy um, in the early streets until you actually have a developed hand. Gilly's on an 8 jack down here now with the 7. It might have been playable if it had got folded to her, but it's definitely a good fold with the jack there, I think. It's good to see everybody here at Anything But Hold'em. We are railing Miss Gilly, a friend of the stream and very good friend of mine in real life as well. She is sitting on the final table. As we see, we're now down to 7 people left at that final table. Miss Gilly is sitting in 5th place with her 4,540 chips. ABBA is way up top currently. She's got a really nice 3-5 right now. I might have actually gone in with that depending on what else was happening. I think given the 8 and the 6 over there, I might have actually gone in with that one. But again, as I said earlier, it's important to remember that the advice that I'm giving should be taken with a grain of salt. That grain of salt being Miss Gilly is still sitting at a table in this tournament with chips in front of her. I am not. So maybe she doesn't necessarily need to listen to my advice with the way I play hands. She's got an 84 back, which means that she's paired her 4. She's probably getting rid of that, I think. Probably folding that one. Pairs are always going to be a pretty bad idea at this stage of the game. She's got an 8 deuce back now with the 9, so not a terrible hand. If it folds to her, obviously I think she raises into the queen. I might even be calling behind here. You know, it's certainly, you can certainly draw out better, and Trickless doesn't need to be playing all low cards back. You have to always be careful. Typically in Razz, I mean, when it's one-on-one with just 3 cards out, if I'm showing a low card versus somebody showing a high card, I'm raising that pot very close to 100% of the time, regardless of what cards I have below. I'll obviously make a change. I'll obviously make a change as the streets go on if things look good, you know, if I get played back at and if things draw out badly for me and my down cards are really horrible and things like that, I will change my strategy as it goes. But to just fold into people who have been the bring in when you are the last to act and you have a lower card than them is really just giving up chips in a Razz scenario. And you need to. She's got a 4-7 back here, so she's definitely in with the raise. I think that this is, again, probably going to be a bet situation. And I think going to keep betting, I think, in this situation. You could probably check for pot control here as well. But I really think that you've got to be involved unless you've just gone horribly. Yep, good hand. So that jumps Gilly up into fourth place now. Um, Cripples packs pretty badly as well. The deuce is obviously a nice looking card. But as she says with a 9-10 back, it's probably not worth getting involved with at this stage. So she had an 8-3 back. I think that's probably something that I might have raised at that stage. You're probably not going to get nearly as many people coming in behind you in that situation. So, I mean, I still think that with her 8-3, she's should assume that she's ahead of everybody now, ahead of ABBA's. Well, maybe not, because she's on an 8-7 now. So it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot to be in. So she's 8-7 3 deuce with the queen now. Miss Gilly bring in with the 8. It's an 8 queen. That's obviously something that you fold out with the pair and the queen. This looks like ABBA almost certainly. Yes, this is almost certainly going to be ABBA. Trickless can't continue past this street, I don't think. Yeah. King Jack with her 3, and she's getting rid of that. Pretty crappy. Getting rid of that as she should. This is potentially a raisable hand depending on what's behind. With 3 ace is what she says she's got behind. Definitely I would have raised that one. She's got 4-3-9 behind. Got called by the 10 from Sever. ABBA is going to also call with the ace. So 96-43 for Miss Gilly. I think she's definitely in with Sever folding. I think at this stage you're drawing out well enough. I think you have to continue. Yeah, I guess with her pair fours, folding out was probably the way to go. Jack's a pretty ugly card to have up. With a 5 king as well, you're getting rid of that pretty quickly. She's got a queen 6 down on this one, so that's also pretty weak holding. So I think you probably want to get rid of that too. Um, Alrighty, so that's definitely a raise. She's got a 5-6 back with her deuce. Sever calling with the 10's a bit of a surprise there. Sadly paired the 6, but I think I might still bet, and I think that's a very good bet because even though she's paired it, that nobody knows that, and she takes it. So that's a very nice bet on her part. Very savvy to recognize that the paired 6, it didn't really matter at that stage. She had 6-6 down with that 4 there. I think that's probably going to be another raise spot, but it's a nice raise by her. She says she has 9-7 back, so that's a good raise. Brings in with the 10. She's got a 3-8 back, so I mean, Sever obviously could be playing a very strong hand at this point, showing only nuts up. But I think that that probably one more street at this point is probably necessary. And I think that you're still going with that draw. That was unfortunate. That was unfortunate, but it's going to happen that way sometimes. King 4, she's got down now. You can definitely get rid of that. There's still not really much in it for third, fourth, and fifth at the moment. One hand, and those positions are going to change dramatically. So I don't really even think losing a pot like that, Gilly should be hugely worried about it. Um, even if she's not involved in the hand, it's easy for Freak or Trickolas to get decimated by Abba or Sever and drop below Gilly and therefore push her up to a higher spot. In fact, it's possible for both of them to have that happen to them. Freak's fold there was pretty good strategy, pretty savvy strategy wise, I think, for just the reasons that I was talking about, with not wanting to drop below Gilly's stack level. Freak open folds. Obviously, was not happy with the situation and did not want to be in the pot for any reason. Got a queen, jack 3 back, she says. It's a playable hand, but the jack is obviously going to handicap you down the road as well. So I think you've still got some time to wait, and I think seeing what happens with Freak and Trickolas over the next little while is probably useful as well. You don't need to get too crazy with your betting. Freak now looks like he's going to pick up a pot. But there's still not much between them for third, fourth, and fifth. So I mean, I really think that there's less reason to panic than you might think with only 2,570 chips. The Deuce 7, that's a nice raise by her. She is this is a good solid hand, I think. Nice draw as well. Keep putting pressure on. Nice big pot in there as well. You want to basically at this stage you're hoping to put all of your chips in the middle. And now you are hoping just to put all of your chips in the middle. You want ABBA to call as much as and to raise you now so you can put your last 70 chips in and get everything back. But it's still a good result. And there you go. I mean, that basically jumped her from fifth to third into the money spots again. So got a 5-3 down, which is a pretty strong hand. Interesting to see what ABBA does, but otherwise it's definitely a raise, I think. The jack is probably her bring-in fold. She says she has a king 10, which makes it even more of a bring-in fold. This is probably a fold situation with a 9. She says she's got a queen 5 back, so yeah, that's probably no reason to get involved with that. Let Freak and Sever fight it out. Wow, this is nobody's drawing into a very good hand in this situation. Freak's king queen looked massive in that spot with Sever drawing to 3 of a kind 4s on his board there. Wow, folds around to king on king violence. Let's see some king on king action here. Oh, and Freak shows the queen behind to fold out king queen. That was some nasty king on king action. Nice raise with the 4 by Gilly. She's got an ace 7 back, she says, and takes it down. Be Freak for bring in again. Deuce 9's probably another raise spot for Gilly. ABBA with the ace certainly might want to get involved, but otherwise it's probably going to be a take her down. She's just got a 4-5 back with the queen. That's actually a reasonably strong hand to go, and it looks like she's going to get a chance to see 4th Street anyways. I think you're probably getting rid of it now at that stage with the queen jack out. 9-5 back. I think again you're probably getting rid of it. I'm gonna guess that ABBA and or Freak is gonna be raising in here. So I think really no matter what comes on 4th Street, So at best, you're playing a 954 now with the queen. Freak has definitely got you in big trouble, I think. So yeah, getting rid of that is probably the way to go. Abba's bringing with the 9. Gilly's got a 9 jack back, which means she's got a great straight hand if we were playing stud. We are not playing stud, however. We are playing Razz, therefore it is a foldable hand. Foldy, foldy, foldy. That's what that hand is all about. Foldy, foldy, foldy. 3 up looks pretty. Queen 4, she says, back. I still think that raising the 3, seeing as that she's got the lowest card on the board, is not a terrible idea, even with the queen. The 4 definitely gives her some insulation, which means she can draw out later if she needs to. But it looks like she's not going to need to. I'm guessing that both of these people fold out to her and take it. This one should be going to Freak. She's got a deuce 7, so she's paired the 7, and probably don't want to be involved, I don't think. Maybe one street there. Maybe one street, but it's pretty speculative when you've paired your 7 there. So, I mean, I think folding is a perfectly good option there. 4-3-5 is obviously a hand that she should be getting involved with. I think that's definitely a call in this spot. So it was a good decision on her part. Very nice draw to the nuts there for her. Obviously, Abba could be drawing to just as good of a hand. The paired ace is not great, but you've got to continue, obviously. Wow, I think she's still got it there. Because she's still drawing good. So with a 9, it is going to be pretty tough, I think, to call. It's probably a fold. I think she's hit a 9 at the back. He's obviously showing 7 as his highest card. So otherwise, it was just unlucky draw out on Gilly's part. Not much you can do about that. It's going to happen in the Razz from time to time. She's got a 9 king back now, so that's going to be probably a folded hand now that it's been raised and called. It's looking like it's going to be trickless with this hand. That moves Gilly into 4th. Freak is now last. Trickless is the person in the min cash spot. Gilly has deuce deuce back. Almost certainly going to be folding this. No reason to get involved. We folded ace 4 jack there. Probably a reasonable fold, I think. She'll be bringing in with the queen. Jack 9 back. Probably not getting involved with that for any reason. I think you're almost always folding that. Looks like Freak will be taking this one down for 2,000 chips almost in his stack. Still bottom of the barrel. He gets to bring in. Always seems when you got the smallest stack, you get to bring in more often than everybody else. I'm sure it's just a perception, but it always seems to feel that way when I'm playing Razz, when I have the small stack. This could end up being an interesting hand with Trickolas potentially getting in some trouble. It looks like he's going to be the winner. Looks like he's going to end up strongest at the end of the day, although Sever is still potentially drawing out to a hand that is strong enough to beat him. Looking at a 74 versus a 65 at this point is what we're probably pushing for. And yeah, Trickolas was pretty strong there. Alrighty, so that puts Trickolas up out of the when Sever re-raises there. Gilly had a 10 deuce back, so the 10 makes it pretty weak at that stage. So I think folding out is fine. Well, I mean, I think she's got a 6-2 back, so she's paired and she's probably got a fold. You know, it looks like Sever's almost got the insta-raise button clicked, but he is lower than she is. So, I mean, I suppose that's going to happen sometimes, but pretty unfortunate couple of hands for Gilly there. It's going to be bring in for Freak. She got 2-2 behind. I think that's probably a proper fold. See what happens with Freak here. Looks like Freak is done for the night. Looks like Freak is done for the night, leaving 4 players left with Gilly in 4th spot. Nothing left to wait for, so she's got a 4-3 back. I think she's got to go with this one. I think she's just got to go. I think she's just got to go for it here. There's really very little other choice I think that she has. She's drawn out very nicely here, and she takes it. So still life in the girl. She's got a 9-7 back with the raise there. I think that a bet there is another good spot, and I think she wants to just keep piling the money in at this stage. She needs to double up, so really, you know, she is drawing now with a 9-8-7-6, 8-7-6-3-1 now. So I mean, I think that she's in good shape here. Oh, that was an unfortunate draw out. But, oh no, she took it. Sorry, I was not reading the board correctly. I was not reading the boards correctly. So that was another one that keeps her in the game. Queen 10 is she's got Queen 10 back there. That's probably a fold, I think. With an ace-4 back, the deuce is almost always going to be raised anyways, but with the ace-4 back, absolutely. She's got to keep betting that. Want to be raising the aces all the time. She'll take this one down almost certainly. Clawing her way back into contention for this for the cash here. She's been raising so much that I think you could pretty easily fold this one out if you wanted to. Sever's gonna come back at you when he's got a good hand there, I think, quite a bit. So I really think you can pretty happily fold there. That didn't go so well in the end for her, but the draw just went badly, and that's going to happen from time to time. So it's got 3-5 back now, which is always going to be a raise, even no matter what ABBA does. So that's a good raise on her part. A7 with the 4. I think that's obviously going to be. I think that's a good call here. I think that I would put money in here. So you have to put money into that pot because you're ahead there. So you absolutely have to keep piling the money in, as long as it's obvious that you're ahead. Ace 4 might actually be worth. She's going to bring in here. Might actually be worth calling. Might be a call here. Just to see one more street, I think. That's probably a fold now at that point. So we're into the 5-minute break now. I am going to bail out for a couple of minutes, take a break, do my custodial duties. I'll be back. I am back here on Anything But HoldEm. We are railing good friend of the stream, Miss Gilly, who is also a very good friend of mine in real life as well. We are on the bubble right now in the Sunday Razz 110 fixed limit Razz tournament. Miss Gilly is sitting in 4th place with 3 people cashing, but very close to the 3rd place person, and certainly in the running for a cashing spot. Got a king 9 back at the moment. It's probably a fold hand with the 6 coming in like that, so I'm pretty happy with her decision there. Deuce is a nice looking card to have up, obviously, in a Razz situation. 8 queen down is nowhere near as nice, but I still think you want to raise that just simply on the strength of the deuce. She's got a 6-4 down, so it's a very strong hand. Still very strong hand. Needs to be betting, needs to be putting money in the pot. Still needs to be putting money in the pot. Happy to call. Happy to bet into here. Absolutely bet into there. And I think you're still betting. I think you're still betting. I'm sure that she's good. And boom! All of a sudden, Gilly's in first place. Seven eight is a raise hand for a sure, even without just having the strength of the 5 there. 8-10 behind the queen. You can easily fold that here, obviously. And again, I think she's folding. She's got deuce 6 back, so it is definitely playable, but I don't really think you need to get involved. Just no need to get involved there, really. King 3 back this time. That's a fold pretty much all the time. Bring in with the king. Everybody else has queens. Bring in with the jack. 4-5 behind. Just suggesting on that one where she had jack 4-5 up top, that instead of bringing in for the 180, she could bring in for the full 600. She could bring in for the full 600 and potentially get some people to fold out, depending on what else they had. She's got 4-5 back, which means her 5s are paired, but I still think it's a good bet because, of course, nobody knows that she's got paired cards at the moment. I think we're still betting. here. It still looks like we're best. I think we're still betting. I think I still have to bet. Um, and we're still betting. We're still betting. We're just betting, 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 betting. With the 3 and 4 showing there, Gilly could certainly have folded the deuce with the 7 queen back. You don't with the if Sever and Trico both have really big cards showing, then you ignore your back 2 cards. But when you're looking at a Queen 7 deuce and it's a 3 and a 4 showing next, you can sometimes happily get rid of those without going, especially when you're first to act instead of being last to act. That puts Severianen in first place, Gillian second now. Looks like Sever's got this one. That was unfortunate. Unfortunate draws for Gilly. She got her money in good there, I think. I think that how she got her money in, there's nothing wrong with that. Just drew out. It was just an unfortunate draw out. Those things are going to happen in the stud variants. Got to be able to roll with those punches. Bring it with the queen, jack 6 behind. You're definitely folding that one out. No reason to get involved. Bring it with the jack. Jack deuce behind. You're getting rid of that one for sure, I think. Bring it with the 10. Looks like Sever's got this one too. Like Sever's the massive stack now. Everybody else is pretty even. Nice little ace showing up there for Gilly. That's always a pretty card in Razz. Good raise on her part. She's got a queen two, she says, down. Ace is obviously horrible there. It's not much worse there than pairing the ace. I think you're raising the four there all the time. Bring in with the 10. It's going to fold out to one of the deuces, I'm sure, or the 6. This could go either way at this point. Neither of them has a very strong made hand by the look of things. It's going to be trickless. That basically leaves Gilly and ABBA fighting it out for the third spot. Bring in with the king for Gilly. It's been annoying that ABBA is taking the chips away. You don't mind giving them to Sever or Trickless at this point, but you don't really want to be giving them to ABBA. She says she's got a king 3 back. I think you get out of that and hope that ABBA has a bad hand, which looks possible anyways at this point. That's unfortunate for Gilly. So Gilly's got to make some moves now. She's absolutely in 4th place without any question now. So sitting around waiting for things to happen isn't going to do much good. She's got 3-4 down on that one. You're definitely raising there. Got a king 4 back. It's a good raise on her part. Force Sever to make a decision. She's got a king 9 back behind the ace. I think you still raise until ABBA comes in which case you fold at that point. Bring in with the 9. She's got an ace 5 back, so I think you could certainly call here. I think you're obviously in front now, so I think you're wanting to stay. I think you're still in front, so you're still wanting to stay, and you're wanting to bet. You're absolutely wanting to put your money in now. That's absolutely great. Betsy's throw your chips in as much as you can and yeah, expect to take it. Expect to take it down either with a call or without. He's got the 2-5 back. It's always going to be a raise there. I think that the continuing to throw money in the pot is the way to go. Clawed her way back up into third now, so ABBA's the one in fourth. She's got ace-8 back, so this is definitely anyone's pot at this point. Sever's definitely got the best of it now, I think. Although she's still drawing out pretty good. That was unfortunate. It was one of those spots where you just sort of know that you're no good, but you also know that you can't not put money in the pot. So it's you're just you're just stuck in a bad spot there, really. It was a shame to see ABBA take that pot down for our sake, anyways. Railing at Miss Gilly here. Bring in with the queen. 9 jack back. I think you fold that most of the time. Bring in with the king. The 4-9 back. You could maybe potentially play that. But I think it's going to be a fold most of the time. This looks to be ABBA's pot. Although Sever's definitely betting in. Bit surprised by that, actually. Although you definitely the 6th and 7th Street were very good on Sever's part there. Get 7-8 back on that, so 7-8-10. You're going to fold there even with that much in the pot. Bring in with the 5. Nice pot to stay alive by Gilly there. Not sure what Sever was doing with that raise there. Seemed a little misplaced. This could potentially be pretty good for Gilly if Trickless bricks out on this one, which is certainly entirely possible at this stage. We've got 4-3 deuce Sever playing. It doesn't look like Sever's hit a very big hand though at the end, and That's not great for us. Of course, here railing Miss Gilly as we're sitting on the bubble of the Sunday Razz. Looking for a min cash of $4. Second place is $6. First place of $10. Got an eight deuce back. I think that's got to be a raise all the time. Bring in with the king. With the 3-8 back there, it's probably going to be folding most of the time. Got a 6-8 back, so I think that she's going to get involved here. Good raise, very good draw. And yeah, I think you're going to cap out this time and just going to go. She's behind, but ahead now. Oh, unlucky. Very unfortunate. But still, very good game by Miss Gilly to get down to the bubble spot. Sadly, she was the bubble girl for the night. But hey, that's going to happen from time to time. You just got to put in your chips and take your chances in Razz sometimes. So she was drawing good there for quite a while, I think. And I think, it was a good spot to get it in. You can't really blame her for that. So I, of course, busted way back in like 10th or 11th or 12th or something like that. So, she was the one that did great on the tournament tonight. So hopefully we'll see her again next week. Thank you all for coming by and stopping out and hanging out with us here on Anything But HoldEm. I'm going to see you again soon, I hope. Maybe going to look for a horse game tomorrow to jump into or something. So until then, later.